the XP show being powered by Cross the Line Radio. And right now I am at Union Square here in downtown Manhattan, where there organized a Stop Starving Gaza emergency protest. So I'm down here right now, as you can see, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to speak to some of the pro-Palestinian, pro-Gaza supporters. There's also pro-Israeli supporters here too. So I'm just going to go and speak to them as well, okay? So I guess let's try to ask some people. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing today? My name is AJ. I'm with the Experience Show, and I want to ask some questions about what's been going on in Gaza and how you feel about what's been going on, basically.
Thanks.
So I would like to know why do you think so many people are being silent while Gaza is suffering?
Probably a lot of fear. Fear of loss of jobs, fear of loss of opportunities, maybe a lack of knowledge. That's probably what I would say.
Okay. What do you think Americans can do to help or stop what's happening to the Palestinians in Gaza?
Withhold our funds from corporations or organizations that are silent about what's going on in Gaza, or show up to these rallies and not be complicit when people want to play both sides, or say that Israel is dealing with difficult situations as well. Of course they are. A loss of human life is always bad, but we have to understand that it didn't start on October 7th, and what's going on in Gaza is a genocide, and it's the willful destruction of an entire group of people and a displacement of people, my people, and then we can't be silent and let people walk all over us about these topics, because we might lose our job or lose our opportunities. Do we want those jobs, or do we want those opportunities? No, not if they're on the backs of the death of millions of people.
Now, you said genocide. Some people might disagree, and some people say that it is a genocide. So why do you say it is a genocide?
It's less about the numbers and more about the intention. If you look past, what happened on October 7th, there's always been a desire to eradicate, expel, send into diaspora the Palestinian people, because they don't want to acknowledge their existence. And October 7th was a perfect scapegoat to get rid of them. So whether or not the numbers are showing, a massive amount of death, or like a incredible percentage of a decreased population in Gaza, which, yes, I understand, what people say about the population, increasing or not necessarily going down by a great amount. Probably good to consider where those numbers are coming from, and why there's such a strong concerted effort to police the language around what we're talking about Gaza. Maybe people should be less concerned about, the qualifying words that we use and the specific loss of human life, which, it's really interesting that people seem so nitpicky about that one word and whether or not we should use it and its correlations to the Holocaust and aggrandizing what's going on, when I don't think that it's being expressed enough how bad it is right now, whether or not we use the word genocide.
Some people have differing opinions on why Israel is doing this, right? Some say it's because, biblical reasons. Some say there's oil and resources in the land, and they want to move the people. What do you think is the real reason of why this is happening in Palestine?
I'd probably say political reasons. I think that the reason the Jewish people came, or the Zionist agenda was created before the 40s, was fair. It was a response to what happened in the Holocaust, and by and large the Palestinian population accepted the victims of the Holocaust and made space for them. What is now happening is a colonial project that is being exacerbated by the Israeli government, and I think a lot of people in Israel don't want it to happen, and want Palestinians to have the right to return to their land. So I don't think it's that human beings are awful. I think that this is a colonial project set about by a white supremacist government.
Okay. Why do you think America is so invested in partnering with Israel?
I think it's the interests of the government in and of itself. I mean, people ally themselves with their government whether or not they may understand the specifics of the cause. A lot of, especially Republican Americans or evangelical Christian Americans, think that the support for Israel is probably the hatred or, the dislike for Arabs or Muslim people, which, if Israel itself is saying it's the only democracy in the Middle East, they would ally themselves with democracy or ally themselves with, familiar faces of people of European descent, and, the post 9/11 Islamophobic anti-Arab craze of viewing Arab people as the aggressors.
Okay. And what are some last words that you would like to share with the American people watching?
Free Palestine. Show up and show out, and do the right thing, regardless of how bad it's going to impact your life. Think about the people across the world who are desperate for you to acknowledge their existence because they don't know how long they have.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Much.
Appreciate it. Take care. So someone just got arrested just now. He's being taken away in handcuffs. Someone just got arrested.
Este genocidal asshole. This is America, and we fight for our country.
So he's being arrested right now. He's being taken away. I don't know exactly what happened. Okay. All right, being taken away. Well, let's see what happened. Excuse me. What just happened?
I missed the entire situation. I just know one of our guys was arrested, and I didn't see anything physical happen.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions? I just want to get your opinion on what's going on.
For whom?
Well, for me, I'm a YouTuber. I have the Real Experience Show, and what I do is I have a neutral platform where I allow people to share their thoughts and their experiences on what's going on in anything.
All right, so no bias?
No bias.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So I want to know, why are you here today for a Stop Starvation in Gaza protest?
Well, I think that name is a misnomer. Not because it's incorrect, but because the people causing the starvation are not the Israeli soldiers. There's not the Israeli government. Although they're flawed, I certainly don't condone most of their actions. But it's oftentimes the Hamas who is the problem. There's video and Palestinians letting us know that they've seen their own people from their own culture stealing their food, shooting them, charging them exorbitant prices to get food and any resources. And so we're actually trying to promote the idea of saving these people and informing people of what they can do to do so. At least myself personally. I can only speak for myself.
Okay. Why do you think some people are so passionate about what's happening and they feel that Israel and America is to blame?
I mean, the passionate part is an interesting phenomenon because it's media, it's governments who love to get people riled up, turn them against each other. In which case, you get more control when the people are confused and don't know who to agree with, where to go. I mean, sorry, I forgot the question. I got so caught up.
Why people are so passionate about why Israel is to blame?
I mean, there's a lot of word that it's anti-Semitism. I can't say that for sure. I just know that there's so many other genocides going on right now, and it's interesting that nobody's concerned about them. You don't hear about the Druze, the Sudanese, the Uyghurs. They're all. I mean, that's just to name a few of how many people are experiencing genocide, starvation, and being deported and turned into refugees from their own countries. So it's hard not to question what the basis of that is.
Okay. What do you think about America having a strong alliance with Israel, and how can that help Israel with the situation?
I mean, I think they wouldn't survive without America's help. I think Israel was created to protect the Jewish people after the Holocaust, as most of us know, and they were given this money to have the Iron Dome and to have their soldiers be trained properly, and Gaza would have the same. Palestine would have the same if Hamas were to give them that money, because the leaders there have the money. There's, again, proof of that. They have millions of dollars, and they are not giving it to their people. And so if they were able to do that and have the Iron Dome, they would use it just as much. They would be just as powerful, in my belief. So it's kind of like evening the playing field, and Israel's very lucky, very fortunate that we've been backed by America, because I don't think any other country in the world would be of help. Whereas with so many Muslim countries, they would certainly have, if it were permissible, they would have the resources.
Do you think that there's a point where all of this can be stopped, and what would that look like?
I mean, this has been going on a long time. You know, before even Israel became a state. I'm a love and peace kind of person, so I'm optimistic. I'd like to think so. As long as you have propaganda, as long as you have unfortunate governments and politicians who are not supporting peace, I don't know. Unless people learn, research, ask questions, I don't think it's possible, because everyone's happy to just listen to the news.
How do you feel when people say that? How do you feel when people say this statement that Israel is trying to commit a genocide?
I mean, it hurts. It hurts really badly, because I've not only known, but I know Israel is oftentimes doing its best to protect people. I mean, there have been refugees from all over the world. The Jewish people, as soon as they saw, the Israelis saw they were being killed in hundreds in days at a time, they opened the border and said, come in, let us protect you, you're one of us. Even from Syria, where that population, they're not necessarily pro-Israel, but they said, you are one of us now because we need to protect you. And all over the world, they've provided training and ways of saving water, saving food, feeding every population. And I think it just hurts to hear that, and especially from people, again, who are misinformed. And it's not their fault, it's just that they've been misinformed.
Okay. Do you see this conflict coming? Do you see this conflict or issue coming to an end anytime soon?
I mean, if Hamas is willing to take a plea bargain, I guess, to put it, simply, and one that Israel will agree with. Netanyahu is a kind of scummy guy, and I think both of them are just guilty. And so, again, I'm optimistic. I'd like to say so. I'd like to think so, but I mean, you can see how many people are here supporting Gaza. It's more so supporting terror organizations, which is very scary.
Okay, last question. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for several people who they consider involved into this crisis. One of them being Benjamin Netanyahu. What are your thoughts on that?
My thought is trust no politicians. I do not trust him. I do not approve of what choices he's made, but I don't think he represents the people or the IDF or the Americans here who are Zionists. I don't think that's who we are for the majority, and I am hurt. Again, all of this is very painful for all of us, both sides, and it upsets me greatly that we have someone in charge who would support any killing and not do his best to prevent deaths and prevent war.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. Okay, let's see what's going on over here.
You behind every problem in the universe. You behind every problem in the entire universe. That is history. That is history, motherfucker. You're famous, man.
Excuse me. You want to talk to you for a bit?
Sure.
Yeah, there's freedom. My name is AG. I'm with the Real Experience Show.
Okay.
I know that there was a fight. Something happened where a guy got arrested, and there was a little bit of a
Here? Somebody got arrested here?
Somebody got arrested maybe like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that.
Okay. So what's going on here? I saw you were engaged in a verbal confrontation with someone.
Yes.
So what's going on?
Well, we have a bunch of people over here. You can see the picture. That's a picture, a fake picture she's showing about starving people in Gaza. This is an ill, sick kid. You see the kid? He's sick. The kid has health issues. That's not a starving child. There's not one starving person in Gaza. If you look at any of the videos that are coming out of Gaza, they're all plump and pleasant. Everybody has videos. Everybody has phones. Everybody has this. Is there a war going on? Yes. Are there Gazans being displaced? Yes. Are there Israeli hostages still in Gaza? Yes. When they give us back our hostages, the war will end.
What do you think about? I see that there's some Jewish people on this side for pro-Palestine. How do you feel about, I would say, your countrymen or people who share the same faith opposing Israel or on the opposite side of Israel?
We call those people capos and treason. That's treasonous, but they're capos. They're people who are against the Israel government, which is the same thing as you have people over here. Is if you look at any one of these, look above there, you will not see one American flag. Why don't you see an American flag? Because the same people who are opposing Israel oppose America. These people are just anarchists, they're communists, and they're socialists. That's what they're here to do. They're here to take down the West. They're here to destroy this country. They're here to destroy anything that doesn't belong with their way of their ideology. They don't like people that talk. They don't like people who have their own thing. If you listen to every single one of them, they're all like little puppets, like little robots. One guy says something, the whole crowd repeats after them. That's a robot. Nobody has their own voice, unfortunately. And this is all. If you go to you can even do better. You can go to an account called Gaza Wood, GAZAWOOD. That's Gaza Wood. He'll show you all the propaganda video that comes out of Palestine. Because these kids, these new millennium kids, they don't have a brain of their own. They come out of college, they're dumb as fuck.
How did this conflict occur, and what would it take to have it end?
The conflict occurred on October 7th when Hamas decided to break through Israeli borders and killed 1,200 plus people in a dance festival, and also went into kibbutzes, which are little areas where Jewish people live. They killed and kidnapped 259 people. They brought them back into Gaza. They brought them into their Hamas tunnels, and they never brought them back. Every time they bring it, they give us just a little couple of people back and a couple of people more back. From what I know right now, I believe there's about 48 people still left over there. Out of the 48 people, there's 30 dead. If they gave back all the hostages on October 8th, Israel wouldn't retaliate. But Hamas doesn't accept any deals. It's been like this for decades, and it's the same thing. All they're here for is to destroy Israel and to destroy the destruction of Israel. Israel is the only country in the Middle East that's stopping the caliphate, that's stopping the Muslim Brotherhood from taking over the Middle East. And once they take over the Middle East, they're going to destroy this country slowly but surely.
Okay. Why is it important that America and Israel keep their alliance together?
As I just explained to you, if Iran would have had their nuclear weapons finished, Iran would have threatened America with those nuclear bombs. Israel is the only ally in the Middle East that's actually keeping the area from getting destroyed, as I said, to a caliphate and to the Muslim Brotherhood. They want to take over Israel, so once Israel is not in their play anymore, they're able to do whatever they want, and there won't be any allies. America will not be able to even land in the Middle East. They will get destroyed.
Okay. And what can Americans do to either assist or help put an end to this issue?
Ask for the hostages back. Demand that Hamas gives back the hostages, and this issue is over. If Israel wanted to destroy Gaza, they would have done it on October 8th. Israel has been given, every time Israel bombs, she puts down flyers. She throws flyers in the immediate area. She texts everybody in the neighborhood to let them know that the building is going to be bombed, and that's why they're able to get perfectly timed bombings of every building that gets bombed in Gaza, because they've already been warned by Israel that it's going to be hit at this time, at this date, and this exact second, and they're able to sit there. And if there's anybody left in the building, it's all a political stunt to destroy Israel.
Do you think that the world is turning its back on Israel?
I believe so. That's part of the Bible. It's written in the Bibles that the world is going to turn on Israel. And the reason why the world is turning on Israel is, like I explained to you, because of the propaganda that's coming out of Gaza. Now, most of these people, if you look at them, They're young kids. They're people that just came out of college. These are the colleges have been indoctrinated since the 1980s. It's been turned into leftism. They took out the American flag. They took out the national anthem. They replaced it with LGBT community flags. They replaced it with Gaza flags. They replaced the teachers with all lefty teachers, and they've been indoctrinating these kids. That's why these kids don't have any say-so. Like I said, they all repeat exactly what the people say. They don't have their own voice. Try to go speak to them and let them say. All they know how to say is genocide, baby killers, occupiers, settlers. The truth is that there's only 0.002% of Jews in the entire world. And there's I believe Muslims take 1/3 of the world's population. They have colonized they have colonized France, Paris, Toronto, Michigan, New Jersey. They've been colonizing so many places. It's not possible for the Jews to colonize. The Jews are what do you call it? They're indigenous to Israel. It's called Judea. It was called Judea and Canaan before anything. They're only going because of the British mandate that when the British wanted to take over Israel, they called it Syria Palestina. And Syria Palestina is not Palestine. There was no such thing as Palestine. Palestine was started by Yasser Arafat. This flag was only introduced in 1967 by Yasser Arafat, and that's when the Palestinians decided that they're going to start doing their identity. There's no such thing as Palestine.
Any last words?
God bless America. I hope the hostages come back, so this way there's peace around the world. But unfortunately, in the last 2 years, we have noticed that the anti-Semitic, anti-Jew, and anti-American hate is just rising. And I don't even think just because the hostages are going to come back that this is all going to end. I'll be honest with you. The end of America is already starting, and people are sleeping. Unfortunately, the Americans are sleeping.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Oh, look, they call people house niggers.
Let's go back on the other side, see what the Palestinian protesters have to say. Again, I'm AG. This is the Real Experience Show, powered by Cross the Line Radio, and we're gonna see if we can speak to some more people right now. All right. Hold on. Excuse me. Can I ask you some questions about what's going on? How about you, my friend? No? Can I ask you a question about your sign, please? No? One too many, okay. Understand. How about you? Can I ask some questions? No? Okay. A few questions? Here. My question is, why do you think so many people in America are silent while children in Gaza are starving?
They might be too afraid to say it because depending on the workplace they're at, or maybe they're afraid they might get canceled, especially big celebrities on Instagram and stuff like that. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna end it.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hey, how you doing, sir?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Can I ask you some questions? Sure. Okay, this is for you. My name is AG, and I'm a likewise.
Podcast?
Yes, it's called the Real Experience Show.
Good. I'll check it out.
I would like to know what brought you out here today.
Well, I come here every day. First of all,
I'm gonna get face you this way because of the sun. Okay, only because of the sun. There you go.
Good.
Yeah.
I come here almost every day, going all the way back to Occupy Wall Street,
Okay.
which started here, by the way. These people are being financed, and I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's putting up the money for this.
The protest that's happening here.
Most of the people are paid to be here
Okay. Why do you think that?
because I've talked to hundreds of them.
Okay.
They get money wired right into their phone to be here.
What sparked this curiosity to kind of do this investigation?
It's what I do. I own a research company. I have to investigate things. I have to determine if something is true or not, so it can be used later on in litigation, research, how to market a product. In other words, if you can find the truth, if you can really know what's going on, you can save your country. You can make a lot of money. You can do a lot of things if you have the truth. And that's probably why you're doing your channel, to help people get the truth.
Yeah, I want to provide people a neutral platform where it's not
That's how
always
you get
one-sided.
there. Yeah, it can't be one-sided. You got to hear both sides. But I've been coming out here talking to these folks going back to October 7th, and I know dozens of them. I know a lot of them from the Occupy Wall Street movement, where they were also paid to be there for Occupy Wall Street.
So if you think or know that the protesters are being paid, do you think it stops being as genuine?
Of course, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is a free country. If you want to be paid $200 a day to wave a flag and hold a sign, I mean, what's the difference between that and a spokesmodel, right? Or somebody that's endorsing a pair of athletic shoes? It's the same thing. They're being paid. Michael Jackson didn't drink Pepsi. Okay, he was paid $2 million to say he drank Pepsi. So most of these people are not true believers. They're paid $200 a day. We've been tracing it back to a number of different groups, but they're paid to be here. The vast majority of them.
So who have you been able to trace this back to?
Open Society Foundation, George Soros.
And why is that significant?
Okay, George Soros is a billionaire and he's a currency trader. So he makes his money by destroying countries. So if he can destroy a country and their currency goes down, it goes to nothing, he bets against the currency and makes billions of dollars doing that. So it'd be like if you and I were betting on a football game, okay, and you could sneak into the locker room before the game and poison all the players on the other team by putting stuff in their water, and they'd get sick during the game and lose the game, but you were betting against them on the other team. That's what George Soros does. That's how he makes his money.
And so, what do you think is his plan by doing this?
He wants America to collapse.
He wants America to collapse.
Crash and burn. Yeah.
Why would someone want that?
Because then the dollar would crash and burn, our currency, and that's the reserve currency of the world. So he's betting against that currency. He's saying the dollar is going to, every day he bets it will go to zero.
So if he is supporting or funding the movement here, right? How would this make America crash?
I'll tell you right now. How many Muslims are in New York City right now?
I don't know.
1.5 million.
In New York City?
In New York City. How many will be here in the next 5 years? Another 1.5 million. They're building 150 mosques right now in New York City.
The Muslim community?
Yeah. So once the Muslim community gets to 3 million people in New York City, they will have complete control of the city. That's why Zoran's running for mayor. That's why Zoran is hiding in Uganda right now, because we don't have an extradition treaty with Uganda.
So wait, so Zoran Mamdani is in Uganda right now?
He's a radical Shia 12er Muslim. He's in the same Muslim sect as the mullahs that run Iran. Okay, and the mullahs that run Iran, they want to see this country gone. They don't think America should exist. So it's not just Israel. They don't think America should exist.
Okay. So the protests, right? Although you have some reservations on how authentic or genuine it may be, what do you think about what's happening in the Middle East?
I think it could stop tomorrow, but it's not going to stop by doing this.
What would it take for it to stop?
I'll tell you right now. The conflict in the Middle East is what's called a proxy war. A proxy war is where two countries are fighting with each other, but there's bigger countries behind those countries, okay? So we're the proxy for Israel, okay? Israel needs us to back them up. So they're one side of the war. The other side of the war is Iran. Who's backing Iran?
I think I heard something on the news about maybe some Russia ties to Russia?
Communist China is backing Iran.
Okay.
Now, why would Communist China back Iran? Because they want control of all the energy in the Middle East.
China?
Yeah, China has no oil. They have no natural gas. They have no coal. They have no energy whatsoever. They need that energy, okay? But right now, the United States is saying, no, you don't come into the Middle East and tell anyone what to do, China. So China is using Iran and Hamas to attack Israel okay, and get us into a war. Same thing happened in Vietnam in the 1950s and 60s. The Soviets were on the side of the Viet Cong. We were on the side of the South Vietnamese.
Why do you think more Americans don't know this information?
Because most Americans don't study history, because it's not taught in school. Most kids leave public school illiterate now. The kids that leave public school today cannot read or write. Okay, I'm shocked. I mean, you're one of the few people, I come to this park every day. You can usually not have an intelligent conversation in this park. And you know how you judge the intelligence of another person? By the questions they ask. You're asking smart questions. Most people don't ask any questions. They don't even think about questions.
So then what would it take for Americans to kind of wake up and realize to see what's going
9/11
on?
was a wake-up call. That was a big wake-up call. And that's going to happen again if we allow it. If New York City becomes, okay, there's 8 million people in New York City, okay? Do the math. If 3 million of them are radical Shia Muslims, what do you think this city's going to be like? What do you think it's going to be like? Now this idiot's laughing. You know how long he would last in a debate with me? All of my, you want to have a debate on camera?
What, with your cookie idea?
How many Muslims are here now?
What? I don't know the number.
You have no idea, really?
I don't know the number.
You live in New York?
I live in New York.
You don't know the demographic makeup of your own city.
I have not committed to memory the ethno-religious makeup of the whole city. No. I have rough ideas of some basic things.
You don't care?
No, I just don't commit everything to memory.
Did you care about 9/11? What happened on 9/11?
I know a lot about 9/11. I
Okay.
was there.
How did that happen?
What?
How did that happen?
Some people flew planes into a building.
We let those people into the country.
We didn't just let them into the country.
We let them into
We
the country.
trained them.
What?
The United States trained them, built up a mujahideen within an international Islamist movement to fight the Cold War, to fight communism. Right?
Okay.
That was your side.
I'm not a communist, by the
No,
way.
I know. I'm
Okay.
saying it's
Yeah.
anti-communism.
Yeah.
It's
I get
U.S.
that.
anti-communism that created
I get
Al
it.
Qaeda.
I get that.
You're part of it. You're part of the larger reactionary
Okay.
U.S. imperialist project, right?
Okay.
And so 9/11 was the consequence of the creation of that monster by
Okay.
the U.S. for its own
I agree. I
anti-communist
was recruited by
purposes.
CIA right out of college, so I
What?
agree with.
You were?
They recruited me right out of school, so I know exactly what you're saying. What does Al Qaeda mean in
base.
Arabic? The base. Why was it the base? It was a database. It was a database controlled by CIA of 1,100 people that we could utilize as assets to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan. Okay? Were we supposed to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan?
What?
Were we supposed to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan?
What do you mean by supposed to?
Was it in defense of the United States to fight our enemy at that time, the Soviet Union in
Oh, it's
Afghanistan?
not my enemy. I mean,
What?
and the Soviet Union is not my enemy. I'm a communist.
You're a communist.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the 1954 Communist Control Act?
No.
Okay, I didn't sleep through law school either. Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is. The 1954 Communist Control Act. What this gentleman just said right now is a crime. It's offense. Violates federal statute in the United States of America. Look it up. Being ignorant of the law does not allow you to get out of the situation.
There are laws that are unconstitutional. That is clearly an unconstitutional.
You're obviously a communist. You don't want to stop talking. Okay? What this gentleman is doing, he's violating federal statutory law. It's illegal to be a communist in the United States. It's been illegal since 1954. We've allowed it because we want free speech. Okay, but we've allowed it. We're not going to allow it anymore. Okay? These people have a right to protest free speech. But if this starts to get violent, which it will, if this gets violent, okay, and it's going to, they won't be allowed to do that. They can do this all day long. The minute this becomes violent, it'll be shut down. And they are ready for violence. What do you think Luigi Mangione was?
I have no thoughts on that. I was very confused.
You want to know why he did that?
Because the United
Luigi Mangione a communist. He does not like capitalism. So what does he do? He finds a Fortune 500 CEO walking down 6th Avenue. He sneaks up behind him and shoots him in the back of the head. Is that violent?
Yes, that is violent.
That's where this is going. Why do you think all the police are out here? They got better things to do.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Well, keep telling the truth, man.
I appreciate it.